Welcome to a tutorial for Warfall. The campaign mode. I will go through a bit for the campaign, how to set up, how to create your units and everything. First of all, you'll need to print you'll need to print for the campaign. You'll need the Warfall Campaign guide. This includes all the rules, the interactions with the different cities and locations on the map, the events and the location maps. They will specify that you have some fights to do, and the maps for the fights are in the campaign rulebook. You will need also the 126-page Warfall story. So that includes 9 storybooks for the campaign and 43 different contracts. The goal of the campaign mode is basically to succeed the campaign. And to succeed the campaign, you'll need to take on the different stories. It's all choose your own adventures, the contracts and the stories. And through your decisions, through your successes in battles and everything, this will guide you towards different paths in the in the campaign. And basically you could end up as a slave on a pirate ship, or you could end up maybe the king of the land, based on your success and everything. And there's all kinds of missions in there. There are dungeon crawls, exploration, infiltration, extraction, so all kinds of different missions. So I try to do all the modes out there. I try to have a contract for at least one if I could do it. So that's the rule book. Each player will need is a Warband sheet. So this is where you keep track of the different resources for the battalion. The battalion. So if I play one player will control one warband, another player will control another, and if you play at 2 players, of course it's a 1 or 2 player co-op system, so you cannot play more than 2 players. And basically both warbands together form the battalion, and you can keep track of all the resources on the here on the battalion sheet. So you have the food. So basically this is when you travel around the map, it will cost you food. The gold to purchase after each battle. If you succeed contract, you'll gain extra gold. After each battle you succeed, you'll gain gold. Even if you lose, you'll gain, but less. So basically the gold will be used to upgrade all your units, buy new gears, train them and everything. You can buy food, of course, with the gold. You can buy assets. Assets will generate passive income after every fight, or you have access to guilds where it costs you less. So all kinds of good stuff you can do with the gold. The wanted tokens is the mechanic. If let's say you do bad things, you steal from merchants, you get caught, basically you can get wanted tokens. And if ever you encounter a patrol, when you arrive in certain locations, like in the cities, you roll a city event. If you enter into a caravan space, you'll roll an event also. And there are patrols in those events. And if you encounter a patrol and you have wanted tokens, you can be sent to prison. And if you're sent to prison, well, you have one chance to escape. If you don't, you end up in prison. So that's basically the infamy system. The assets, like I explained, this is to keep track of which contract you are currently doing, and the paragraph of the contract. So that's a save game, and the current battalion location where it's located on the map. So basically, and the total CP value, because in this system the enemies will scale with the players. So if you have a bad situation, you lose all your gold or whatever, well, basically the enemies will adjust themselves to your rank. So basically you can do any type of mission and they'll always be scaled to your strength. A quick note, if you want to start the campaign, the first story is at 25 command points, and you start at about 10 or 11. So you'll have to do some contracts before, gain some gold, buy new gear and everything. And once you have at least the threshold of 25 points, you can start the first story of the main campaign. So yeah, so and this is the unit stats. So basically you have the toughness, the move, the defense, the attack, initiative, and willpower. And yeah, so this is the Warband sheet. This is where you keep track of that. Also, you have the contract log at the back, so you can attempt each contract only once. So if you fail the contract, well, you're not allowed to reattempt it. Same thing with the stories. The stories, if you fail the stories, one story, well, you'll unlock like the Left 4 Dead story. If you fail again, you'll unlock the Exile story, and if you fail again, it's game over. So basically, it's a fail-forward system. So you can attempt each thing only once, and in a choose your own stories, if you fail a battle fight or if you choose different paths, well, it will guide you through different avenues within the contract. So that's the thing. Second thing, I have plastified mine for easier setup, but of course you can print it paper like so. Next, you will need the custom warbands book. So basically this is used in the PvP to determine the stats of mini that you own. But I use this, basically the command point here will be linked with the cost. Every city will have different costs, will have rebates based on what type of, let's say a city might have rebates on missile weapons, other locations might have very low prices on training. Also, you're not allowed to look at the interaction, interaction options prior to you traveling there, but there's the gossip action where you can look at other cities' interaction. You can bet on arena fights, you can gamble, all sorts of different things in the city. And in each location, like here, for example, in the forest, when you travel to the forest, you reach it, you roll an event for the forest event, and then you can interact with it for free for one. And yeah, so we'll get to the travel. And so basically, these are the requirements. Of course, I printed the main rule book for Warfall for all the rules and everything. And you'll need the map. This is inspired from the 1187-80. That's the Crusader era at that time. So basically, it's inspired by the Crusaders versus the Saracens. Also, it's good to have you to print the terrain cards. Basically, when you set up a fight, it will say to use the terrain cards, but that's optional. If you have 3D models, for example, for the walls, you could use Jenga blocks. And basically, if you have your 3D doors, I recommend you use that. And if you have some tents, some little models, some trees, things like that, so I encourage you to use 3D models if you need. I set up in the rule book, the last page. Basically, I set up examples if you want to use poker cards, for example, if you don't want to print the terrain, or that you can use the Jenga blocks to do a 3D model. So that's an example of a map. So you just set it up like so, using your 3D models if you want it to look a bit better. And you'll need to print the archetype units. So these are the enemies. I don't play with these for the enemies, the priest and the invokers. These are considered support units, so they can be set aside for the battles. Also, you won't need the fate cards. These are just for the PvP. And so basically you take all the units from both factions, and you're ready to go for this. So With all of that, you'll also need a standard poker deck for the AI, and each player will need his own standard poker deck. Basically, when you travel, when you do tests and everything, you'll discard, of course, you'll have cards in your discard pile, which could be very good cards. So when you get to a battle, basically you might not have access to those. So there's the rest option and everything. So we'll look at all of these options. So now we'll go to the unit creation. So that's the first step. So exactly like an RPG. I've updated the rulebook. I've added basically new physical characteristics for the minis, for the units. I mean, I added the mental characteristics and the divinity, the origin characteristic, which was there already, but I had some changes here. So there's 7 mental aptitudes. There are three origin, and there are now 7 physical aspects. So just to create it more RPG-ish like. So right now I'll go and create my 2 starting units. For a 1 player, you control 2 units at the start. If you are 2 players, each player controls 1 unit, and from there you choose 1 captain, which will be the battalion commander, and which will break ties in case of discrepancy between players or decision. The battalion captain has final say. So I'll prepare everything for the character creation. So yes, so for the character creation, so I will do 1 unit which will be agile. So basically he starts with attack 1, defense 0, move 3, initiative 3, will 2, and toughness 4. So he's like a fast character with very low toughness. So basically I will just copy the stats here, and then choose the unit's origin. So that's where you choose if he has divine powers, access to the fate class, or mystic powers if he has access to the mystic class. In the world here, the priests have access to miracles, but they're not flashy ones. It's very subtle. Same thing with the mystics. So basically, no one really sees those effects, but basically it's a very subtle type of magic. So for now, I'll take that he's worldly, so he doesn't have access to fate rolls. And I choose a starting weapon, so I'll take the short bow for his starting weapon. So the short bow gives it's 2-handed. It has line of sight 2 to 6. I need to knock an arrow, so that costs 1 MP to do. And line of sight 2 to 4, attack +1. So I'll just put line of sight 2 to 4, you'll get 2 attack. And line of sight 5 to 6, you'll get is 1 basic attack. And the short bow, yeah, knock arrow. So that will be my first guy. My second guy, I'll take a hardened guy. So that's a heavy. He has 8 toughness, 1 movement, 1 initiative, 0 defense, and 1 attack. Again, it'll be a worldly, and for him, I'll start with the heavy club. So it's a 2-handed weapon. It gives him an attack +2, so he'll get a 3 attack, and it gives him initiative -1, so he'll be at 0 initiative, and he has -1 defense, so his defense will be negative, but that's okay. So perfect. Then we choose a captain between both. So I'll choose the short bow guy. So then I choose a role. The captain has access by default to the captain role. That's no problem. And basically, the captain role starts with 1 fate. To gain extra faith, I must train him and maximum 4 faith. Then basically I choose one role amongst my starting allowed roles. So I will take the custom warbands, and here you see based on the abilities, so two-handed missile weapon with light or no armor. I have access to the marksman, the scout, the stealth, the fighter, and the vanguard unit. And the other guy, a two-handed melee weapon with light or no armor. He has access to fighter, assault, and vanguard. So for my Arden guy, I will choose his role as an assault. And for my shooter, I'll choose the role stealth. So you'll be a stealth shooter. And then I receive 2 points worth of abilities for each. So for the assault, I'll take the chain kills ability. So basically, if I kill an enemy, I draw 2 cards, and I will take a charge. If I move 4 MP or more, I gain a +1 to my attack. And for the stealth, I will choose for the stealth guy. So I will choose basically sneak around. So if he starts out of line of sight of enemies and finishes his move out of line of sight, so it won't trigger the enemies to become aware. Sneak around, and so this is worth 1 point, and the chain kills is worth 1, the charge is worth 1, and I'll do a flanker. So basically, if I get a flanking attacks, I'll apply +1 to my attacks. So once I have chosen each unit's ability, then I calculate each unit's CP worth. So this one is worth 2 because of the agile, 0 because of the worldly. The short bow is worth 2, so that's 4 points. Plus he has 2 abilities, so he's worth 6. And the guy with the heavy is worth 2 plus 1 for the heavy club, 3 plus 2 for his abilities, so he's worth 5. So the total command point for my battalion is 11. Well, for my warband and my battalion, because I'm alone. So I choose my minis. So I've chosen the minis that I own. So you can take any minis you own, basically, as long as they kind of match the unit you want. That's okay. Then we start with 15 gold. For the gold, 15 food. So for the food, I will use this D20. You can never exceed 15 food ever, unless you have an asset or something. So you need to manage this, and we start with 10 gold. You can take coins from your country, no problem. That's good for that. And I choose the commander, the captain background, so he's going to be a mercenary. So I start with a 10 gold extra, and when I attack a merchant, I'll get a 1d10 plus 2 gold instead of 1d10. We each shuffle our decks, we place them close by, and then we choose an entry point for the battalion, so it can enter in any of the corners of the map. So basically I can choose it from here, 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 or here. So let's say I'll enter for this from here, so I start outside the map. And then we'll go to the travel the travel aspect for it. So for the travel, it's pretty simple. So actually at the start of the day, yes, so basically we need to consume 1 food, and then we receive 3, we can advance up to 3 spaces on the battlefield. So we'll do 1, 2, and 3. We'll visit the mountain. So when we arrive on the mountain, we basically roll for an event. So we go here in the event, and we roll a D100 for that. And then once we resolve the event, then we're able to interact once with the mountains. So then we can go in the mountain interactions here. and basically mountain, sorry. Yes, so the mountains, the interactions, once we resolve the event, basically we could either look for precious metal. We have to do a 5 difficulty initiative test. If we succeed, we receive 5 gold. Or we could hunt for mountain goats, do 5 difficulty move test. If you succeed, you receive 5 food. So if you're low on food, that's an option. Also, the first as soon as you enter a location, you stop, you roll an event, and like I say, you can interact once with these locations. You can interact twice with the with the cities, and it has to be different interactions. So basically, if I want to travel the map without triggering events, I just need to avoid the icons. So could take a little bit more time. Also, the road space are larger than the other space. So if you use the road, you'll travel faster normally, unless you have a lot of events. A lot of encounters in the middle. So basically what we'll do is I'll do a test. For example, look for precious metal, do a 5 difficulty initiative test. So we'll look at the test. They're blackjack inspired. So basically how it works is you choose a unit. So here I'm going to test my initiative. So of course I'll take my fast guy because he has more chance of success. So basically it's a 5 difficulty test. I have 3 initiative. So basically that's 5 minus 3. So that's a 2 test. For a test where 2, it's a medium difficulty test. So basically the AI draws the top card of his deck. If I sent my Arden guy with a 0 initiative, it would have a 5 difficulty test. So that would have been a very tough test. And for very tough, the AI draws 2 cards and keep the highest. And for very tough tests, he would draw 3 cards face down and keep the highest. So it has a good chance of getting like 20, 21 each time. But for now, it's going to be a medium test. So what I do is I take the AI deck and I draw I draw the top card of his deck, and basically I place it like that. Then I draw another card that's going to be hidden. So that's the blackjack style. And then for the player, he just reveals his cards until he decides to stop. Figures and jokers are worth 10. Aces are worth 11 or 1. Exactly like the joker, the blackjack. If you exceed 21, you bust. So basically 6, 12. So now he has a 13, maybe. So I'll continue. I have a 10, so 22. So I bust. So I failed this test. He would have had 7. So yeah. Also, the characteristics for that system is that your discard pile, you don't touch it until you do a battle. So basically at the next battle, you'll be able to reshuffle all your cards and everything. But in between fights, so for example, I have my Queen of Spades here. If I want to recover it, I would need to do a rest action. Rest costs me 1 food, and basically I can take the top 10 cards of my discard pile, shuffle them back in my deck. The AI will do the same. So if I rest, the AI will rest also. So you have also on top of the food and the gold, you have your deck management things. There are events that will remove cards. Removing cards means you take the highest card in the deck, not in the discard pile, and you remove it from the game. So it's not available. It will be it will be available again after the next fight. Also, the other characteristic is I can interact only once with the same event in between fights. So I couldn't spam the mountain and just do, okay, I'll do another event. So I could gain unlimited gold this way. So I'm not able to do that. I can interact only once. So once I've done the mountain here, I'm not able to interact. So I would need to do a test, a fight, a full-fledged fight. And at the end of the fight, all the icons, all the locations on the map are available again. I recover all my cards, and I on my discard pile, all the cards in my discard pile go back in my deck. And if I ever deplete my deck during the travel, I lose my highest card, but not during combat. So once you reach a combat, you could deplete your deck 10 times, no problem. You won't lose cards, but if you do the depletion during the travel, you'll remove your highest card from your deck if you deplete it a second time. And with the test, it can go a bit fast, but it's okay for that. So then the day ends. So now I've resolved my event. I failed. Now I consume one food. So now I can move 3 spaces, but now I can only go either on the camel here or on the plains. So let's say I'll go on the camel. So then this is a road event. So basically I will roll the event here. So I roll a d100 for the camel, basically what happens here. And then I can interact once with the merchant. So for the interaction with the camel, I have 2 choices. I can attack a merchant, I gain a wanted condition, and I receive a d10 gold. Or I could shop at a merchant. I roll once on a random medieval item table. I can purchase that item at 5 gold per command point, so if I'm lucky. Or I can steal from a merchant. I do a 5 difficulty initiative test, and if I succeed, I receive a d6 gold. If I fail, I get a wanted tokens. How the wanted tokens work is for each wanted condition, if I encounter a patrol, I do a test. Of course, the more the wanted conditions, the tougher the test to bribe the patrol. If I fail the bribe, then I unlock the contract, the contract mission, the prison. I'm sent to prison. I have to escape the prison, and I lose all my wanted tokens if I'm sent to prison. So I go back on a fresh sheet. And if I manage to escape, then it's good. If not, well, then you're game over. You lose the campaign. So the wanted mechanic can be cool if you're lucky, if you can avoid patrols. There's only patrols on the road and the cities, but you'll have to travel to cities to do contracts and things, so you can encounter patrols there. So that's a bit the resume for the travel, the tests, and the management. And if we look, for example, if you go at the city of Ascalon, the option for that city, each city has different options. So, well, different, they're similar, but I mean, they have different costs. They have different rebates based on what you do. So you can gamble. So you go to the tavern and you do a gamble mechanic. You can recruit new units in your warband that cost in general 20 gold. And when you recruit, you do everything random. So it's gonna have a well, you don't have to recruit, but you say, okay, I want to recruit. Then you roll what's available. So for example, oh, he's sturdy, then he's divine, and he has I've added the mental aptitudes, and he has that type of thing, and then you decide if you recruit him or not. So all the recruitments are random. For the gamble, everything is there. It's like using D10s on a blackjack system, so but using D10s instead. Betting on arena fights, you take 2 minis, you roll a D10 each turn for each. The difference is the damage. They both have 10 points, 10 health, and the first to diminish the other one to 0 wins. So you choose whom you bet on, and you hope he wins. The shopping, basically, you can just shop here. So for the shopping, you take the custom warbands, and basically you have here the items, the gears. So for example, if I want a harming sword, it's worth 4 command points. I'm in Ascalon, and so basically it says here for shopping you have access to all items, and the cost is the CP value times 12. So basically it costs 48 gold for the arming sword. The swords can go up to 15, 12, 15 power command points. So it could go up, and here the axes cost 10% less. You can go to the medic because you can get injured during the travel because there are quick fights. So it's not the full-fledged fight, but you just do a test. If you fail, each of your unit takes 1 damage. So if you don't want to start the next fight with damage on it, well, you have this. You could go to the bazaar, you pay 60 gold, you will roll once on the medieval item table, and you receive that item. So you could be lucky or unlucky. Gossip, you can look, because in Warfall you're not allowed to, like I said, to look at any interactions. You need to go there, and so basically the gossip ability lets me look at another city. I gotta spend 5 gold, and I can look at other contracts. I could also take a contract. So let's say I'm in Ascalon, so I could join the battle in Arsif, rescue a noble, in Ibelin, pillage a tomb, pirate attack, arena champion. So basically I choose my contract. If I succeed the contract, I will gain extra gold. And the contract, for example, pillage a tomb. Let's say I want to do that. So it's the contract number 11. So I go here, number 11, and it says an archaeologist called Alain is looking for Egyptian artifacts, but bandits are occupying the site he needs to explore. He asks you to escort him there to provide protection. If you accept, go to 11A. So you go there, travel to the tomb location. So we'll have to do a travel. The tomb is here, so we'll have to travel to the tomb. And once we're there, well, basically we follow the story. There might be fights, might be decisions, things like that, and you choose your own adventure. If you fail a fight, basically you fail the contract, you won't receive the extra reward. And yeah, also for fights, at the start of each fight, so for example, let's say I have a fight here. The fight will specify the location, so I go to the WARFALL campaign locations. It says plains, so I just go, of course, alphabetical order, and basically I take out the plains map here. So basically I set it up as is. I just need a table. It's about 2 by 2, so very short, very small combat zones. And basically then it says when the northernmost plain of the entrance is the entrance to the cave. So we must reach the entrance of the cave, and basically there are enemies, total player CP value times 1.25 worth. It's Crusader units, and there's traps that will be there. Any enemies will start unaware next to random planes, and the enemies, the AI priority, will attempt to prevent us from reaching that, so they'll attack the closest players to the exit. And we have a bomb to carry, so if we succeed, if ever the unit carrying the bomb is dead, another unit may loot it to grab it and do that. So it's like a run mission. And to determine the enemies in Warfall always scale with the player's difficulty, like I explained, so you're never really in a bad spot. So how it works for the enemies, for example here, let's say it's total player value, so it's 11 right now, times 1, so it would be 11. So I just draw, it's Crusaders, I think, no, Saracens. So basically the duelist is worth 10, so it's still under my 11, so I'll keep drawing. And a slaver is worth 10, so I exceed my my 11, so I exceeded by 9. So in that case, the slaver will start with We go here with the battle setup. For the battle setup, basically we first choose difficulty. So with a higher difficulty, you'll get higher reward. So you'll get more gold. So if you choose a normal fight, you receive 10 gold at the fight if you succeed. If you fail, you receive 5. If you choose a challenging fight, the AI will all have +3 to his attack and defense action. Challenging, you receive 15 gold if you succeed. If you fail, you still receive 5. So the difficulty, then the location, we build the map, then we draw the enemies. So for example here, it's 20, so I'm 5 to 9 in excess. So a quarter toughness and damage rounded up for the slaver. So basically, he would start with about 2 points of damage on him, so he would be a bit weaker because of that. And then we place minis, like indicated, it's placed next to the planes. And then we have the win conditions, it's to escape with the bombs. And basically, if the enemies are unaware, they start with the top 2 cards of the AI deck underneath the enemies to indicate they're unaware, and when they become aware, just flip the cards and they'll take part of that. For the traps, you use D10s. You place 3 D10s next to random terrain, and basically if a trap gains line of sight on a player while he's moving, the trap will trigger. And then you draw a card, the top card of the AI deck, to determine what type of trap it is. And so for example here, the trap, if I draw this one, it's a jack. So 11 would be a net trap. I would be caught in a net. I can do a 5 difficulty move test to avoid it. If ever I fail, then I need to spend a cumulative of 10 movement points to get rid of the net. And if I'm attacked while I'm there, I don't have the defense for that. So yeah, so all of these mechanics, but I'll do a fight. This was just a quick overview, but I'll do a detailed mission setup and everything in a later video.